We never wanted to create just a phone. That was just the starting point. We wanted to create a phone that got better and better and better with every update. And the only way to do that was to listen. So if someone said something about an issue with their screen, we knew what to solve. And when people started realizing we were actually listening, this whole community formed. Some people told us how annoying low-light selfies can be. So we turned the screen into a makeshift flash and added professional settings to make the camera way better. We heard people wanted to shoot more stable high-res videos. So we developed this software to greatly reduce shake. We're huge gamers, and we knew how annoying getting alerts can be. So we gave people a way to turn them off. We were never driven by a big research department. We're driven by these people who are our biggest fans and our biggest critics. So we try to do everything we can to surprise and impress them. Then we send it out into the world and do it all again.
OnePlus has come a long way since we started. It's really incredible that we've been able to establish ourselves as such a key player in a really competitive industry. And it really just comes down to one simple idea, which is just to create the best user experience. But I think the best user experience is not just about the product. It has to be about the love and the passion for what you do and how customers can see that. We actually started with only 5 people in customer service, and now we have more than 500 people in customer support in more than 10 locations around the world. So if a device needs to be repaired, all you have to do is contact us through one of our many different channels of support, and we've got everything taken care of for you. Everything from pickup and transport to repairs and returns. We also have multilingual support in local regions so that, for example, if you're from France, all you have to do is go to the website and you can speak directly to one of our French agents.
I had a customer that had a problem, and always he was, I want to speak with Paula, I want to speak with Paula, I want to speak with Paula. We are here to help, so they are coming like, I don't know how to explain. If you want, I can say in French.
When you have a customer asking for a particular agent, I would say at that point it's like a small friendship.
Because we sell all our products online, naturally we're a global company. But a big step for us was to open our regional locations in Europe and the US. Now our warehouses and repair centers are a lot closer to customers, so this has actually helped us to reduce the turnaround time for all of our customer service matters by more than 3 times since we launched the OnePlus One.
Our facility here in Texas is to repair for all of the United States. So if we receive your phone on Monday, it'll ship to you as soon as Wednesday and be back to your home on Friday. We'll do everything to fix your phone and get it back to you as fast as possible.
We're a family that grows with every new user that we have. And that's, I think, what our customer support is really all about.
We actually didn't know what would happen when we started OnePlus. We just knew that all the Android smartphones on the market weren't made well enough.
At the beginning, it was a bit basic, everything that we were doing. We didn't have an actual budget. We just had, like 3 or 4 people with 3 or 4 brains to use, and that's essentially what we did.
And when you tried to hire people, it was also very hard because it was something that no one had heard about before. So it's understandable. Why would they want to join this unheard of thing before in Shenzhen?
Even though there were some initial challenges, the announcement of OnePlus generated a massive hype. Early adopters gathered on the forum, creating the foundation for the community.
We were very excited back then. We were doing all kinds of little conspiracy stuff.
Thanks to the dedicated fans, the community around OnePlus kept growing through word of mouth. When the OnePlus One launched, the community had reached tens of thousands.
I stayed up till 3 in the morning to watch the launch. It was very, 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 very exciting.
A startup called OnePlus launched a low-cost phone today called the OnePlus One.
The specs were released. It was amazing. It was fast, great camera, unlocked, good memory. I was bringing it to work and everyone was looking at it. What's this phone? And oh, it's so great.
The first time holding the OnePlus One was completely different to the smartphones I'd had before. It felt really good.
The hype was kind of like out of this world. It was something absolutely crazy.
When we launched the product, we got 3,000 requests per second to our website, and it went down immediately. I don't know what we've done, but we've done something pretty significant.
We kept releasing invites, and every single month we were selling more than the previous month. I think for other companies, like you start selling the first, let's say, month and a half, you sell a lot of phones, then it kind of like dies out. But for us, it was like, well, we release more invites and people buy more phones.
I remember talking to Pete about what our goals should be, and we said if we can sell 30,000 phones in our first year, then it means that there's enough people out there who agree with our ideas. But we ended up selling almost 1 million phones in our first year. So that's kind of how everything started.
After the huge success with the first phone, they began preparing for the OnePlus 2. With loads of confidence in this super hype brand, what could possibly go wrong?
Hype is a very effective way to break through clutter. But now that you've got my attention, what are you going to do with it? If you're not able to meet the expectation, then that same hype can backfire on you with the same level of intensity.
We started by examining the properties of glass, what makes glass unique, pristine, desirable. We dialed in the precise combination of steps needed to create individual sheets of glass. Each sheet takes 40 steps from start to finish to meet the highest standard for strength, clarity, and beauty. We designed a special process to fit multi-layered film underneath the glass. This film, just 1 micrometer thick, is imbued with stunning textures and finished with 6 layers of anti-glare coating. We then complete the process by applying a gentle curve to the edge of the glass, which not only increases durability, but also creates a 3-dimensional effect that accentuates our signature horizon line. A singular achievement, in fit, form, and polish. Crafted without compromise.
So OnePlus started the journey to release their second phone, aiming to create their next flagship killer. But following up on the success of the OnePlus One wasn't going to be easy. To top the hype of their first phone and take the release of the OnePlus 2 to the next level, OnePlus had to take a new and unexplored approach, doing the world's first product launch in VR.
So here it is, the OnePlus 2.
Getting the VR production in place was just one part of launching the OnePlus 2. They were thinking globally.
We're gonna be in Times Square. We're gonna have like one of the main billboards in Times Square. We're gonna be in 8 other cities around the world.
The launch itself was a huge success. But as for all big parties, there comes the day after.
I was super excited after everything that happened yesterday. And then I went home, started browsing like all the comments online. Then I also read on Reddit yesterday night, and that kind of put everything into more perspective. So I think whenever we feel confident, we should read Reddit. So the comments on Reddit are like 80 to 90% negative.
And the comments on Reddit were a great indicator of how the OnePlus 2 was received by the fans. It didn't really turn out the way OnePlus wanted.
When I first saw the OnePlus 2 and the specs, I was very disappointed. I was almost heartbroken.
So we probably got a bit out of touch with the community. I don't think we were listening that much to what they had to say and what their needs were. And I think that's where things went slightly wrong.
I do think it was very valuable. And I still think, you know, if you look at the whole picture, we got lucky in our second year. We got the chance to make such a big mistake so early on, and that we could all really learn from it and, you know, become more mature and more humble because of it.
Ah, the student. As usual, he wakes early for breakfast and a morning stroll. He plugs in his OnePlus 6 to refuel for the day ahead, piecing together the last few days from the evidence of gig tickets, stained shirts, and half-eaten kebabs. Fast-forwarding through his morning rituals, primal instincts come to the fore with his fellow tribe members and furry friend, thankfully captured in cinematic slow motion for a snappy share. While making tracks to uni, the gaming mode allows him to play in peace without unwanted disturbances, such as calls from a doting mother. The split-screen feature enables his short attention span to flit between his lecturer and things more important to survival, like continuing the search for a mate. At a social gathering, he makes good use of the dual camera to capture memorable moments and to take hilarious selfies with plumage naturally on fleek. Once again, the journey of this young male never settles, ending where it began with a valiant attempt to maintain the image of a model student whilst persisting in his quest for tomfoolery and tribal crusades.
If we see where OnePlus is in its history as we go into the third year, they have arrived on the scene as a credible player, as people have sat up and taken notice. However, in order to be in the top tier of competitors, they will have to scale.
Going into the third year, OnePlus had to really reflect and define who they are, where the company is going, and how to cope with the extensive growth.
So they say the tactics that sort of brought you here will need to evolve if you're going to get to the next level. You have to sort of give up some of your childish habits and act a little bit more like a grown-up.
things change a lot. Like most of my original colleagues already left, which is normal from every company who is experienced like this growth.
But it's very important that you build a culture that's sustainable and that speaks true to your brand and that speaks true to finally the values of the company and the people who work in it. So there's really a symbiosis, if you will, between the people that you already have in the team and the people that you want to bring in.
We had very strong ideas and we rallied everyone together because we really believed in it, and we got too cocky. You know, when you're too cocky, you actually don't learn as fast because you already think that you know everything. But then we got a lot of negative feedback, and that caused us to lose our confidence.
After experiencing growing pains on all levels, the aftermath of the OnePlus 2 launch shook the company in its foundation and put a lot of pressure on the next coming release, the OnePlus 3 and 3T.
The 3 and the 3T was kind of like the year of maturity, but it was also a year of not much progress when it comes to doing cool things and cool stuff, which is what we like to do.
I just kept saying no to my people. Don't do that, no, don't do that, don't do that. And just stay in the basic features and functions and do the basic stuff perfectly and then think about them later.
The 3 was received very, very well. We realized that we couldn't overextend ourselves again, so we just focused on what we knew we were good at, which is, here's our device. It's one of the best devices out there. You can play with it too.
If you're always focused on changing the world, always trying to do things that are innovative for the sake of being innovative, that might eventually kill you. The OnePlus 3 and 3T were great products, although they were very safe products, and that represented the overall mentality of the company. We went safe everywhere.
They feel okay. Feel cool and soft.
I would say like a little thin.
I wouldn't mind a little more treble up there, like the higher.
It sounds clear, it sounds balanced. Not a lot of power.
Mostly like the top range.
I don't know, I feel like I'm not being surrounded by the sound.
I need my cranium vibrating.
I would say that these would be like, you know, kind of entry level. Ooh.
They swallow up the whole ear. I can hear the bass now.
I'm getting all the warm mids and the bass.
That's it.
And everything feels warm. Everything feels good.
Yes, I hear the treble so well. And then that bass isn't distorting.
I like these a lot more than the first pair.
These are lighter than the ones I was just listening to.
But these feel like, you know, when the doctor like looks in your ears.
Or the sound is a little thinner than the first or the second one.
The lows are beastly.
But the clarity on these is nice. It's just not giving you the power.
Like chunky bass and kind of dominating lower mids. Oh, I'm looking over there.
Are these the ones that I liked?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, this is nice.
And the fact that they just look like normal earbuds is crazy to me. Okay, Google, buy me these.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't heard about them until today, but they should take over.
Compliments to the chef.
The boom bap is right here.
The loyal
Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. Our program will begin in 10 minutes. Thank you.
So as you think about where OnePlus got its early success, it was really they captured the imagination of a group of early adopters who are not customers as much as fans. It goes beyond loyalty. It's brand love. And today the younger generation is asking a question. They're asking not what you make, but what you stand for. So I think that the reason OnePlus captured the imagination of an early group of fans is because they took this attitude of never settle, the attitude of disruption. Now the interesting question is when you get to more mainstream customers, do they care as much? How do you scale fandom?
The community for OnePlus is its biggest asset. And I've never seen a community quite so dedicated. We're like these anchor points for these super techie nerds. And they've never gotten any company that talked to them like we do. So we're very unique in that respect.
Grassroots brands usually have a very loyal audience at first that's basically behaving like a cult, if you will. As you scale your audience and your community, you go further and further away from the epicenter of what the brand promise maybe was to the initial user audience.
We try to keep everyone happy as much as we can, but yeah, sometimes it's difficult to have like a very clear direction.
What's really important is to have that face-to-face interaction where we can really get into a nugget of information that people maybe wouldn't have shared otherwise. And so we want to have a really open and honest dialogue with people, and that's why we call it the Open Ears Forum. In the last few years, we've come a long way in terms of our customer support, but we appreciate that there's still things that we need to improve.
What our fans would think about how we're growing, hopefully they'll be proud. And they will feel like they've also been a part of it. And it's also their baby. So when they'll see our phones everywhere in the future, they'll be proud of the fact that they had a hand in helping make this happen.
Introducing the OnePlus 6. The latest phone in our quest for the perfect balance of technology, speed, and design. At OnePlus, we take a holistic approach to design, striving for all elements to work in harmony. We are driven by our pursuit of speed and performance. With the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, combined with our refined operating system, we are pushing for a smooth user experience. The dual camera offers portrait mode, which uses depth of field to make your images look professional the moment they are taken. For physical design, we believe the future of phone materials should be dynamic, changing, personal. Taking inspiration from natural materials such as porcelain and jade, we developed new types of multi-layered 3D glass with glossy and smooth matte finishes that visually transform depending on the light around you. But in the end, the key ingredient of every new phone we make is you. That's why we test our prototypes with users, listening, learning, and refining. We are passionate about pushing our boundaries in order to give you the speed you need.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats Our program will begin in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Gathering their feedback and inviting them to events, meetups, and their first global onstage launch with the OnePlus 5T.
What's up, New York?
I think the only way to win people back is to consistently perform well for a long time.
In a month, we'll be celebrating our 4th anniversary, but it feels way longer than that because so many things have happened.
As a product company, you are only as good as your last product.
And earlier this year, we released the OnePlus 5. It represented everything that we'd learned and was our most complete phone ever. We don't believe in new and different technologies if they don't provide a meaningful user benefit. And this is our approach with the T-Line.
The logical end of this story should be the birth of something that is sustainable. Can you keep up this level of innovation? Can you keep scaling? Is it a flash in the pan? Is it a short-term thing? So I think that what I hope to see as this story continues and evolves is something that is built to last and not just built, to capture people's imagination in a short period of time. So I think sustaining and scaling and building something that is lasting is going to be the challenge going forward, and I hope that's where the story ends.
Ladies and gentlemen, please silence all of your electronic devices at this time. Thank you.
And over the past 4 years, it's been your constant feedback and suggestions that have held us accountable. When we've done the wrong things, you've told us, and you've cheered upon us when we did the right things. You genuinely want to see us become stronger and improve. So I really hope this can continue, and that OnePlus can become a stronger and stronger company and make you proud.
We never wanted to create just a phone. That was just the starting point. We wanted to create a phone that got better and better and better with every update. And the only way to do that was to listen. So if someone said something about an issue with their screen, we knew what to solve. And when people started realizing we were actually listening, this whole community formed. Some people told us how annoying low-light selfies can be. So we turned the screen into a makeshift flash and added professional settings to make the camera way better. We heard people wanted to shoot more stable high-res videos. So we developed this software to greatly reduce shake. We're huge gamers, and we knew how annoying getting alerts can be. So we gave people a way to turn them off. We were never driven by a big research department. We're driven by these people who are our biggest fans and our biggest critics. So we try to do everything we can to surprise and impress them. Then we send it out into the world and do it all again.